Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the People's Review Podcast. I am your host, Dylan's brother who was cut in half by a machete, along with my machete-wielding co-host.
Dylan's got to think about his entire life before he records a podcast. I'm Dylan. We watched Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
That's right. We are reviewing the 2007 comedy Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, starring John C. Reilly, Jenna Fischer, Tim Meadows, and Kristen Wiig.
Oh yeah, all great roles, and a bunch of guest appearances, uncredited appearances by big name actors and musicians too. Jack White is in the film from the White Stripes. If you know who the White Stripes are.
I do not know who the White Stripes are.
How do you not know?
I don't really listen to music like that.
Seven Nation Army. Have you ever heard the song Seven Nation Army? Do. Oh,
I know that song.
That's the White Stripes. Jack White wrote that. So
it's good to finally put a band with the song now.
There you go. We're all learning today. And man, I just gonna want to say right off the bat before anything else is said, this is one of my personal, maybe a bit nostalgia-filled favorite movies. There's so many jokes and lines that it's a very quotable movie. Definitely quoted it a lot throughout high school and college. So just looking forward to breaking this down.
Let's talk about the director first of all, Judd Apatow, known for great comedies such as Knocked Up, Bridesmaid, and Talladega Night, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. And I also just listed every movie I prefer over this movie.
Oh, come on, man. This movie's a masterpiece.
Dylan, I don't know if it was the director's cut, but I really think that this movie was a little bit too long.
No, you need it. You need all of it. Otherwise the pacing's all wrong. Like this is one of those movies that needs a director's cut because so much stuff is just cut through and just rushed and it just feels wrong like watching the theatrical cut. And it's only 2 hours. That's nothing for a movie. It's like half a Civil War. Like and half that movie takes place. Most of that movie takes place on one airport. Like, come on, I'm giving you so many eras of musics, a full-on life story, jokes abound. I'm just saying, you get your value.
I was watching this movie yesterday, and I was about an hour in, and I was already like, man, when is this thing gonna end? This kind of needs to end. I get what Judd Apatow, he's done some good movies, but he's also thrown a couple of stinkers here and there. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. It starts out alright. I don't know if it was director's cut or something. Irregardless, an hour in, I was already tired of this movie.
Oh, that's...
Listen, it's funny to do jokes once or twice, but the more you keep repeating to yourself, the less funny it becomes throughout the movie.
The wrong kid died.
As Pa would say, the wrong kid died. But you know what I find interesting about this? This movie is well received by critics, but it's not as well received by the people.
There you go. That means it's good.
Does it though?
That's science right there. Because the public is stupid. The public likes just like whatever.
But I think it's funny because you're somebody who went to film school and is more knowledgeable about movie things, and you really like this movie, and I'm more of an average Joe Schmo, and I was kind of meh on this movie.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides of the river this episode.
We are.
This is almost podcast first.
This is definitely a podcast first in 22 episodes. I think this is episode 23. This is the first time we have diverged.
Maybe some of those Rick and Morty ones where you were like, I thought it was okay, and I was like, I hate it. But like that's like you were like kind of in the river. I was like on the side. We're on opposite sides, man.
Yeah, but I think at the end of those, we still agreed that they were needed improvement.
Yeah, and we'll probably come to some sort of compromise or something like that, or maybe you'll agree with me because I'm right, but, we'll see what happens, right?
This movie has some funny bits, but I feel like sometimes those bits don't really carry the whole movie.
It's all funny bits, and there's, okay, so what, maybe we should, before we just go back and forth, or we've already done it, but what's the movie? would you mind if I explain what this movie is actually about? The Walk Hard Dewey Cox story. It's a mockumentary. So it's mainly based on Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash biopic with Joaquin Phoenix, and Ray, the Ray Charles biopic starring Jamie Foxx. Some parallels. He's a Southern child who plays country music in the style of Johnny Cash, and he goes blind, as in smell blind, and he learns how to play the guitar without a sense of smell. Jose. It's
so
okay.
Stupid. I was like, what does that even mean?
It's okay, Ma. I learned to play by ear. So basically, it's parodying the rise and fall of a fictional artist, Dewey Cox, as he goes through a bunch of the eras of music in the '60s, hits the '70s, sort of cheesy era, and brings it to like a normal biopic, going through the entire life and career of this musician, Dewey Cox. I want to talk about the first music scene. I don't know. Okay, so the main like catalyst for everything in Dewey's life is he and his brother Nate, who was perfect, like playing piano like a madman at the beginning, and he's perfect, and Dewey's kind of like the second fiddle, and they're out playing for a day until they start playing with Paul's machetes. I don't know if we should play with Paul's machetes. No, hey, Jose, there's nothing wrong with a little machete fighting. And they play with the machetes, and Dewey's machete, the sheath slips off, and he accidentally cuts his brother in half. And so that's the... And, okay, I have so many of my favorite quotes written down here, and we get one of them in this next scene. So you have this scene where the doctor is telling the parents what happened and is trying to give them the bad news and saying, like, we could not reattach the top half of his body to the bottom half. And then the father's like, speak English, Doc. We ain't scientists. the delivery fucking kills me. And that's the catalyst for everything. And now Dewey has to be double great for both brothers. So, and it turns out his latent ability is for guitar. And yeah, I don't know. I want to continue, but why don't you tell me about a thing you did or did not like about the movie? I think pretty much established what it's about. I could go through this whole movie, quote so many lines from it, but Jose, what was something you liked or did not like from the Dewey Cox story?
So I thought that the movie started off pretty well. One of the scenes that I did enjoy was when the sexual tension between Darlene and Dewey had finally got to the climax, and then Dewey got hitched, and then we see them in the hotel room, and as Dewey's, slobbering on her foot,
I'm ready for
Edith
sex.
Walks in.
He's
ready for sex.
John C. Reilly. And also, John C. Reilly wrote all the music as well. Wrote and sang all of the tunes, pretty much. So, shout out to him. And I just love him in this movie. But what happens at the moment of penetration?
As John C. Reilly's about to penetrate, Edith walks in and surprises Dewey.
Who's his first wife?
He's about to mount.
He's his first wife, and now he just got married to Darlene, who he's about to sleep with, because it's like we can't. They're such good friends, but they're not married. So Dewey gets double married. I mean, that part's not funny, but I like the conversation after.
Yeah, the conversation that goes on where, they're trying to figure out, who's to blame, who should not feel some way.
It's not what it looks like.
What do you mean what it looks like?
It must.
Well, somebody.
It has to be what it looks like to at least one of us. And he's just like, he's defending himself. He's just like, we're married. I did this right. You can't get double married. And he's just like, I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you're out on the road for so long. You just forget that, you're married. I feel like someday this might happen to one of us. We're out on the road, podcasting about, and then we forget we're married. And then we get double married. And then we're technically in trouble with the law because legally you can't be double married.
Well, maybe, but I don't know if I'm going to get married in the first place, bro. I'm living this bachelor lifestyle. Yeah. We're going to take one room. With 3 other dudes in an apartment. I'm living a bachelor lifestyle, baby.
The ultimate bachelor lifestyle.
Yeah, and then after this, he's like, well, yeah, that's a good scene. Yeah. Oh man, Dewey's very first song he plays at age 14, aka a fully grown John C. Reilly, but they just say he's 14. gets on stage at the talent show and plays like a song that's the epitome of like the Golly Gee Gorsh era of the 50s, of just like, it's a very innocent song about like holding hands, and it causes like a riot. People start dancing. A preacher's like, it's the devil's music, and this gets punched right in the face. And then there's a riot outside of the Dewey Cox residence, and his father is already upset with him because of the death of Nate from many years ago, is kicking Dewey out of the house. And the pastor is just saying like, we know what you talk about when you're saying, take my hand. It's like, it's a song about holding hands. And he's like, you know who's got hands? The devil. And he uses them for holding. Just like, you know, parody of that. Like, someone will make any excuse to you know, oh, that's like a conservative type suppression of art. You know, like you can't listen to this. It's the devil. Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, and I just love how he delivers that line too. God, I got so many quotes written down, dude. Oh man, it's freaking awesome. Anyways, I'm freaking awesome. I'll be on the moon looking for aliens to kill. Anyways, that's so far ahead in the movie. Jose, I'm passing it to you.
I guess the next scene would be Dewey Cox starts imitating what Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys was doing in regards to the Pet Sounds album.
Now you get it. Now you get the jokes, dude.
Like, that whole scene was, you know, another example of this movie just taking that joke and like just like extending it way too far. Like, they kept bringing in all this ridiculous stuff after ridiculous stuff after ridiculous stuff. I was like,
yeah,
you know, maybe like 3 minutes less of this would be better. Because I felt like I was just watching him bringing in all this ridiculous stuff for like 10 minutes. And the jokes were just not landing that well.
He has to make it sound like velvet pancakes. You just don't understand art, Jose.
I clearly don't understand art because, you know, I can't, for some reason, when I'm playing the concerto, make the velvety pancake sound.
Yeah, what are you doing? The strings were not tangy, they were salty. So yeah, that's just a whole like my favorite scene of that like montage is when he's just walking up to a naked woman with 2 microphones and just slowly pointing them at the boob, and then just turns around and nods. Like he's actually capturing some intense sound. His wife's giving birth. He's like, are we recording this? No. Get a microphone. It's just, yeah, the epitome of that sort of, you know, obviously taken to a comedic extreme, but, you know, Brian making everyone wear firemen's helmets and like running around with incense while people are playing, like type of drug-infused jam session.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if it was just a couple of minutes shorter. You know, we don't need.
No, we need all of it. We need all of it. We need him.
It felt like one of those Saturday Night Live sketches that just dragged a little bit too long.
Trying to host Thanksgiving on his trampoline. We need it all. He's making music. He's gone beyond music. He has to make his masterpiece so we can be double great for the both of us.
I understand his, you know, plight. You know, guess what, Dewey Cox? You're not going to be great if you keep not doing great things.
Don't worry. Dewey Cox, you're still great to me. And I mean, one of my favorite scenes is just because fan of music history and stuff is when they meet the Beatles in India. So it's parodying sort of lots of famous bands in the 60s either went to India or went to a session with Maharishi to meditate and get a mantra and try to sort of move beyond using drugs and try to find inner peace with meditation and all that stuff. And them talking to the Beatles with Paul Rudd as John, Jack Black as Paul, Justin Long as George Harrison, and Jason Schwartzman as Ringo. It's just, the scene's so stupid. It's like they're just talking to each other, and one of the guys in Dewey's bands is just like, no one else is gonna get this joke besides a few people, but he's just like, you guys are good. You guys are almost good as the Monkees. You guys are so good. And everyone just pauses, and they're just like, let's talk about drugs. For the uninitiated, aka Jose, the Monkees were a made-for-TV band that didn't write their own music and didn't like record it and were mostly actors. So though they did become a little more legit later on. So that's the joke there. He's comparing a very legit band to a very unlegit band. That's the music fan joke. Now. Yeah, everyone just like, it's basically like a big insult in a lot of ways.
Hey Dylan, you know what your music reminds me of? The Monkees.
I don't make any music, so
if you did, then that's what it would happen.
Checkmate, bitch.
How dare you checkmate me?
Oh,
And Queen's Gambit all over you.
And then Paul and John start fighting. It's like it's just like, I hate how you're so dark and I'm so impish and whimsical. I'm sick of it. And then they start fist fighting, and Maharishi's trying to stop him. Dewey's like, no, let him work it out. It looks like there's a rift growing between the Beatles. So yeah, I love that. There's also a couple there. Frankie Muniz as Buddy Holly, Jack White as Elvis Presley, and maybe my top favorite scene is when they talk to Elvis and he's just talking nonsense. So they're going, little bug, little honey, little June bug. It's called karate, baby. It's two kinds of people know it: Chinese and the king. One of them's me. Did you like the Elvis scene?
It was all right.
All right. God damn it.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, this movie just kind of dragged a little bit too long for me.
God.
If it was maybe 30 minutes, if it was the regular cut without all the extra content, maybe I liked it better.
Oh, get out of here. You're missing so much stuff. Like that, the you don't get all the glory that these scenes need to provide.
I don't know, man. I think it's not a good movie for me when I'm already thinking halfway through it, when's this going to end?
I do. Yeah, that's a bad feeling to have. But unfortunately, it's one of my favorite fucking movies. Oh, my God.
No, and it's one of those things where...
we have to agree to disagree, Jose.
Your taste in movies is going to be obviously different than my taste in certain movies. Especially comedy, because comedy is very subjective.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's either yes or no. Like, there's no amount of conversation is going to get would get you to swing my way or me to swing your way if I didn't like a comedy that you liked. Because it's just like, at the end of the day, it's just like, okay. Like, these are my favorite quotes, but like, it doesn't matter how well I say them. I'm not going to perform them as well. And you never once paid for drugs. Not once, Jose.
Well, you kept offering.
Yeah, basically the storyline goes that after Dewey, another great cameo appearance, not as a famous person, but we get Jonah Hill as the older ghost of Nate, where he starts berating Dewey for like his lifestyle choices.
His ghost stick?
Well, it's just...
Can't jack off my ghost stick with his hand?
Nothing. One of my favorite lines is him just talking about, like, if I were alive right now, I'd be the president of the United States. I'd be on the moon looking for aliens to kill.
I mean, he was great.
And now Dewey's got to be double great. But he basically, for his entire adult life, pretty much never writes the magnum opus, which is what the song Black Sheep that he was writing in his Brian Wilson era was supposed to be. And then after that, he gets a songwriting block, which leads into the 70s, where he's basically just doing these cheesy TV shows with these terrible skits. And he's just like covering like Starman and Billy Don't Be a Hero and all this stuff. And just living this like shallow, like former celebrity lifestyle, or still a celebrity, but like old celebrity, like, oh, you were big once, I guess, and just being this sort of pathetic loser. Well, it's just the 70s had a lot of good stuff, but this is leading into just like the most marketable, like, well, it's the Dewey Cox show. Whoa, we got a wonderful sketch. He's just, this loser until he confronts his father, who chops himself in half. See? This is what we're bringing it back around. Cuts his brother in half, only to watch his father cut himself in half, Jose. Now that's storytelling. Because two people get cut in half with machetes.
That's the magnum opus of this movie.
And that basically the death of Dewey's father leads him on yet another scene where he rips out a sink, which is a parody of the Walk the Line scene where Johnny Cash rips out a sink in anger, and finally spends some time with his like 27 kids and 27 half kids, and gets into old age. And basically like the ending scene, he's getting like a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2007 when the film was made. So this is when we get our appearance of Ghostface Killer rapping over like someone else performing Walk Hard. And another great line where I don't know who the guy, I forget who the guy's, I think he's a real person who says this, who's just like, if Elvis and Buddy Holly are the Cain and Abel of rock and roll, Bruce Springsteen is Zachariah, Iggy Pop is Methuselah, and of course Neil Young is the wise prophet Ezekiel, then what does that make Dewey Cox? This is like this ridiculous speech. And this is when Dewey finally has thought about his entire life, performs his final song with a bunch of like outtakes and like different like cuts of different scenes, and then dies 3 minutes later.
And thus the comedy turns into a tragedy.
Well, you know, he made his opus. He did it. He was double great for the both of us. And then there's a great post-credit scene as well where it's supposed to show the real Dewey Cox, but it's just John C. Reilly putting on a slightly different voice. I don't know. It's like the first time I saw it too. So
I didn't even see it. So
yeah, it's good. It's good. It might sway you. It won't, but
it was 11 o'clock. I was like, all right, it's time to go to the showers.
Because I just watched this great movie, I need to think about it really hard.
Just because I watched this movie, I need to wash the filth off me a little bit.
Oh, come on. There's no filth here. This is clean fun mostly. But yeah, no, I love this movie so much. Personal favorite. Love, yeah, a lot of these quotes are just in my head all the time. So I mean, obviously it's a thumbs up for me, but I'm assuming from you, maybe a thumbs down.
Like all of our reviews, we always say our reviews are based on our own personal views. This movie is a thumbs down. I always say give the movie itself an actual chance. You know, watch it. Watch the director's cut or the regular version.
Director's cut. They cut out so many good scenes. It's bullshit.
At the end of the day, you know, only your eyes can actually say if this movie is great or if it's not great. I do recommend you watch it, but make your own opinions on it.
But you're a thumbs down ass motherfucker.
Listen, you know, it just wasn't for me. You know, there's a couple of Judd Apatow comedies that just don't strike my fancy, and this happened to be one of them.
I got a fist with your name on it over here. You want to come collect, boy? Just kidding. I would never commit violence.
Dylan, I'm gonna be like a spider monkey and be all over you.
No thank you.
Everybody, we have reached the conclusion of our review for the Walk Hard Dewey Cox story, a movie that Dylan loves and Jose not so much.
And unconditional love, and love doesn't have to be shared, and people can have different opinions about a movie and not want to kill each other. Star Wars fans, this one's for you.
Exactly. You know, I respect Dylan for his views on this movie, and I hope Dylan respects my views on the movie, and we'll just carry on to the next one, right?
Put it up your ass! No, absolutely, you're right. I just wanted to make a joke. I just wanted to do that. Been watching too much wrestling. I've been watching too much wrestling. I'm ready to cut a promo on your ass.
I'm on my binoculars right now. Why am I seeing you coming up my stairs? Who are you trying to kill?
Hit my music. All right, Jose, I think it's time for the coin flip.
It's time for a coin flip time. I'm gonna flip
coin,
that
flip
coin.
time.
I wanna flip
Coin,
that
flip
coin. I
time.
finally hope it's
Coin,
my
flip
turn.
time.
Yeah. You know, Dylan,
Because-
this has been like a monopoly of you because you've won the last three.
Yeah, and I guess for your sake, we better choose something. Oh, we should choose something that you like. Maybe is there like a 3? Do we have like a 3-week like strike rule?
No.
Like if you roll 3.
Coin flip is the word.
Okay, it's not like a
It's
Monopoly.
only been
where
one
you-
movie, right?
Love and Mercy, The Warriors. This has it been? I think it's been 3.
Two out of those 3 movies have been good.
Well, it's sci-fi movies this week.
That is correct. Science fiction.
Science fiction movies, and let's watch The Matrix Reloaded.
This guy's just going straight to Reloaded.
Earlier in a podcast that I cut out, I wanted to watch The Matrix, and you were like, I just watched it. So, Matrix 2, bitches.
Oh,
this
man.
film has divided people. You know, there's people... I definitely enjoyed it as a kid because there's, like, big action scenes, but I think it just sort of muddies and ruins what was good about The Matrix as well. Yeah, let's watch Matrix Reloaded.
Did you go to the movie theaters to watch that?
No, I got it on, like, DVD.
Oh, I went to the movie theaters and I was pissed that it said to be continued. I was like, you can do this shit in fucking movies? What is this, TV land?
Well, they filmed both those movies and did the video game at the same time. I think they released like Enter the Matrix or Path of Neo around that same time, which like I think have like tangential relations to the main, or they're supposed to be sort of continuations or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Pretty solid pick.
Reloaded with The Matrix Reloaded.
I'm gonna go in a slightly different direction. My movie is going to be the 1990 movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sharon Stone. I'm talking about Total Recall.
Not Total Recall.
Total Recall. My pronunciation is the only pronunciation.
I'm pretty sure I've only heard that film referred to as Total Recall.
Nah, it's
but
totally,
I appreciate
it's totally Total Recall. Recall.
Recall. Total Recall. Total Wreck-'em Ralph.
You know, it's a movie I've seen before, but I haven't seen in a very, very long time. So I'd be interested to see.
I think I've seen it. I don't know. I've definitely seen scenes from it. But yeah, 2 great films. Yep. That's The Matrix Reloaded.
That's all we'll say about The Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, that's the film with
It's
those
a film.
like guys in white suits and blonde dreads, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
that
one.
movie. Oh, I made a mistake.
Dylan, I hope you call wrong because it's your turn to call. Coin is once again at heads, and I will be flipping it. So
Heads all the way.
sorry, Dylan, no Reloaded for you. The man has returned. I am talking about me winning.
There you go. Back on top.
Back on top again. So next week we'll be watching the phenomenal movie with my boy Arnie R.
And then the next week after that, we're going to watch The Matrix Revolution, or whatever that third one was called.
Yeah.
The Matrix, like...
It's Revolution.
It is Revolution. Why do I
It is.
remember that? I think I've only seen that movie once. I don't remember what happens. I think I remember the ending. Neo is the Matrix.
Yeah, something like that. Something stupid.
There was something... Okay, so he was the one, and then he wasn't the one. He was like a one, and then I think it ended with him being the one.
It's kind of like a multiverse theory where there's been multiple ones.
Probably. I mean, who knows how long this simulation of 1999 is going to last.
Well, I mean, it's coming back. They're already filming the 4th.
Oh, yeah. Oh, forgot about that. Oh, so many 4s coming out. Matrix 4, Jackass 4. Oh, man, what a great time for cinema.
Yeah. Nothing says exciting cinema like the 4th installment of any movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. But it's Jackass 4, though.
Then they push that back to February?
Maybe. There's also that Bam Margera lawsuit that I don't think has any grounding in reality, because I don't think Bam Margera has any grounding in reality right now, but I think he's trying to get the movie pushed back as a result of the lawsuit. So, in which he claims they stole his ideas, but he was fired from the film for using drugs when they said, "Hey, don't use drugs, or you can't be in the film and earn like an easy few million because you're easily the biggest name because you're Bam Margera." So I watched. Obviously, I watched Jackass and Viva La Bam and stuff growing up, so it's a little more close to home for me. But yeah, I'm still yeah. Out of all those
Hey,
people,
as long as you're excited for that movie, that's what matters, right?
Out of all those people, who knew that Steve-O would be the one who's like the most active on social media and like has his life together the most? It's Steve-O.
He did full circle, just like Dewey Cox. He figured out what was important to him.
Yeah, 2 great men, Steve-O and Dewey Cox.
Yes.
And also, we're just ignoring that the whole title, the whole name is a joke. Cox. That's the easiest joke.
I mean, they use that joke throughout the movie.
You want this dirty Cox? It's all founded on jokes, man. It's a joke pyramid, bro. You just gotta open your third comedy eye. You can see it, bro.
I gotta find that third comedy eye.
All right, well, we're gonna leave as I'm gonna introduce Jose to his third comedy eye. But thanks everyone for listening. I know I've been kind of
hold on.
Oh.
We also gotta put the genre for the next week.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. You won. Your genre.
So next week, Dylan, I hope you have a animation choice as your pick next week, because that's what we'll be reviewing next after Total Recall.
Does The Matrix Reloaded still count because of all the CG?
No, it has to. You have to in the IMDb.
Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
No, that's an action comedy thriller.
Okay, yeah, I'll come up with something. I'll get an animation film, maybe
There's
animation comedy. I don't know. There's lots of animation films. Just want to thank anyone that's listening. It's been kind of a bummer couple weeks personally, so thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Jose for suffering through my favorite movie.
I do this for the people and for the Dylan.
The People's Review at peoplesreviewpodcast.com. And hopefully my outlets get ungrounded soon so I can get back to playing Skyrim. And also editing and posting more often. And see ya!
Walk hard.
Walk
hard.
Yeah, walk hard. Cox story.
Shut up and sit down.